tell you the truth, that theory actually did not resonate with me so very much. Sorry about that, Charles. It's just that for me, it just is not enough proof that he could have possibly come from an esteemed family. But then again, he is secret. So why am I actually talking about? Well, given to the fact that we finally saw a little bit inblick in her personality, now even I have to say, is this also meant to be a hint that she very well could be distant cousin to Soma? Who knows? But since we have this flashback, if we just say for argument's sake it is true, then at least this flashback justifies it. Yes, this is the Shokugeki no Soma, and this chapter is all about Rindo, as we see her scariness and her sexiness. I mean, you can say what you want, but when she shows those fangs and really her cat eyes, that shows she is in her serious mode. And that side is actually quite freaky a little bit. I guess you call it freaky sexy. And we see the rest of the cast also what they're gonna cook. The Kuga match is green tea. Rindo's match is chili pepper against Megishima, while Subaru and the other guy is gonna have to cook tuna. Of course, Kuga is a bit angry that he didn't draw the chili pepper, but at least this answered my question. For a beginning, I actually believed I don't ask me how, but I actually believed the drawing lot was rigged, seeing that 3 of the people that pulled last time of the Elite 10 was closer to their specialties. But then again, the riggment here is still skeptical, because it seems that every single thing they're gonna cook is something the Elite 10 have had specialty in, not the Rebels. So I'm still saying that drawing system is righteous, but at the same time not fair. But on that, the Hayama and the Kurokiba wonders what the match against the second and the former third is going to be. It's very mentioned that she is very loud about all this. And then she actually Rindo actually shows us a bit funny scene about dropping the big crocodile and then just taking it up again at the same time, and then gloats to Megishima saying that I have a good time when you were part of the Elite 10, but now I'm gonna crush you. But Megishima just says, I will too, so come at me with everything. So she then kills the alligator or crocodile, whatever it was. Unlike the others, unlike when we saw that turtle, we do not exactly see her kill it. Guess the censors must have learned something. As she peels off the skin, well, skin is actually the wrong word, isn't it? Scales, yes, and everything else. We see the fresh meat about it. Of course, the rebels are amazed by all that, how she cooked. And finally, Tsukasa in his mind mentions that what makes Rindo apart from all the rest is not her amazing knife techniques, which she clearly bragged a little bit about. It's the fact that she has a vast knowledge of all different things, preparations. And we finally see what kind of a chef Rindo is. And this also answers why she is so out there. It's because she is very out there when it comes to cooking too. She is not someone who is just bounded by simple cooking, nor even gourmet cooking per se. No, she goes beyond gourmet cooking and plain cooking by traveling every single place she can. As soon as she got into the Elite 10, she began to travel around the world because since she basically was an Elite 10, she could have a private plane, and well, she was an elite, so it was okay for her to miss the classes. She traveled around the world, and even before that, she already was pretty famous of everything else, hinting that her name Koyabashi is much more influential than we thought. She traveled around many different worlds and began to experiment on the many different cooking. And we see a flashback back on the uh, Moon Festival, revealed that one of the bottom people was actually insect cooking, and who were their uh, and who were their most seen customer, if not their only customer of the insect eating? Well, no one other than Rindo Koyabashi, who had a goal to go around everything else, and now served since the other class served insect cooking. This time there were cricket full course, which she ate, of course. But the manga, of course, well, censored it. But I have to admit, I sometimes myself have been curious what it will feel like to eat a cricket. I mean, if a fried cricket was before me, would I eat it? Maybe I wouldn't, but then again, sometimes I wish I would. I think if a raw cricket was before me and it was dead, then I don't think I would have eaten it. If it was fried, then and it was before me, then I would do like that, and then maybe just brush it into my mouth. Of course, if I would like it, and that's the different thing. So this reveals another thing on why she is such a big eater. There was some theory that said that maybe she's trying to create her own god tongue. That was your theory, wasn't it, Charles? And um, but whatever, if that was her goal or not, I mean, but we can all agree on that she wants a different palette than other people have. She, as I said in the beginning, she doesn't want to be bounded by simple gourmand. She wants to create a blend of the most bizarre ingredients ever. So she basically has three faces: one who is of extremely wealthy and satisfy her greed for gourmand, the other one who is an interesting explorer, and finally we see a sexy picture of her in a barbarian clothing, where she calls them the one who the wildly devours all, the barbarian. Further confirms that her very strong likenessness to Soma, and perhaps once again implying that yes, Rindo could very well be the true first seat of the Elite 10. I mean, this does answer also the question if she really is the true superpower of the Elite 10. I mean, we shouldn't take that as a surprise if it reveals to be true. This does reveal why she chooses to be number 2. If she was number 1, she would not have been allowed to travel around the globe. I don't think she would have, because even as much as a first seat is the highest honor, it's worth noting that first seat must also do a lot of things, order around, and Rindo is not an ordering around, she just does what she wants to do. So that implies that even if she does have the skill of a first, she doesn't want to, because that would limit her. Once again, as Charles in Anime World has greatly told us, hinting that she has some similarities to Yochiro in there. And of course, Soma is also amazed by her crazy dishes, because now, if she joins up together with Sadasuka, now. By the way, that is also something. Where the hell is Miyoko Hoyo and Sadasuka here? I thought they would have joined the rebels by now. Did they surrender to Central, or did they get expelled? But the fact that Soma is so fired up about the weird ingredients, yeah. Maybe in the end, Soma versus Rindo does not sound so unlikely after all. So the only thing left now is to have the answer, even if Rindo is related to Soma in a distant way. I want to know, why is her name Koyashiba? That was her last name, wasn't it? The only reason I see that is a Saiba daughter took the name of the husband. However, that doesn't exactly answer the question. If Saiba family were so infamous, why would the daughter take the name of the, you know, husband? Unless, of course, the husband came from a more prodigious family than the Saibas did. Let's just say that for argument's sake, if that's true. Either way, she and Soma are extremely similar. But this also comes from me. I am actually one of the few people who do not defend Rindo because I don't like her. She is sexy, don't get me wrong, but I don't like her because she is so difficult to read. Sometimes she seems so immature, yet at the same time very intimidating. And basically this chapter confirms it. She has three faces. One of a greedish gourmand for her own craving, one a very wild child and field worker, another one of a very ruthless fighting barbarian. So she is the type of guy, like girl, that I cannot trust. She has too many secrets in that plain face. But the chapter ends as the central mocks Megishima. However, he brings forth a cashew and also reveals his speciality, revealing that the former third seat of the Elite Ten was a ramen master, the Megishima Tosuke. Is he scared? Hell no. His fighting spirit is silent, but it burns hotter than ever. So whatever connection Rindo and Megishima has, I hope it's gonna be made clear this battle. I mean, it's still clear that Megashima is not going to win, but at least try to give her a match so we can have a little hope in Rindo being defeated. Because I'm one of the few who wants Tsukasa and Rindo to lose. And I know that if they do lose, I will be the only one to accept that. Because, well, when someone is hyped up to be this powerful, it is usually very unacceptable when they lose. Trust me, I know that because I've seen it too many times in mangas people so greatly look down on. But yeah, it turns out that Megishima is a ramen master. I did not see that one coming. He seemed too muscular to be a guy who would just do ramen. But this also seems to imply what the other Elite Ten's specialties are. Because if you recall, in the autumn election, the different matches were bento boxing, ramen, hamburgers, a dessert. I forgot the Italian name for it, and later on eel, and finally uh, pike. It's worth noting that Momo's specialty is dessert. Megishima's specialty is ramen. Uh, and well, while the rest hasn't been answered, uh, Nene did come from a special place where she did made soba. I guess we should associate her with bento boxing, or should we associate Tsukasa from that? What I'm trying to say is it possible that Izan had hamburgers as specialty, or Saito were the one who had hamburgers? Because one, I'm starting to believe that the reason why the Elite Ten choose their specialties is because they chose their own specialties in order to test the future generation. That's one of the theories I have. I know it's incredibly stupid, but I still believe the Elite Ten have become too arrogant for their own good. But this match, I'm afraid Megashima will lose. But at least he is not scared, a bit, and that I like. Still though, I want to know more about him. Probably next chapter we will get some inblick on the match against Saito. Yeah, that was his name. Saito and uh, Mimi Saka. Of course, that could just be off screen. The other two fights are more interesting. Give me your thoughts if you have any.